Is the PDP going to amend their constitution at this forthcoming convention?
Well, there were intentions to do that, but like I said, a part of the agreements we reached is that, okay, for now, let's suspend that. So there are these misgivings that some of the items that are put forward for amendment may not be for the interest of the party. Like I said, yes, because these things may not have been communicated well. So there are suspicion that this amendment is going to lead to certain things that may not be too palatable for the party. And so as people who are really sincere and committed to the party, will say, look, hey, nobody has any personal interest in this. Therefore, can we suspend this? And that was agreed. You see, where you have problems, where you cannot agree, and that gives impression that there's something underneath, there's something so personal that you want to achieve. And so this is a party for everybody. If you have made a proposal for the amendment, and the people are saying, yes, we think this amendment, yes, to whatever thing you think is good, but think it's not appropriate, let us not carry it out. Now, if we do, it will affect certain things. It's okay. I'm just here serving you. I have no personal thing. I agree with what you said. So to that extent, if I agree that, leave the amendment to the Constitution for now, and which is part of the resolution that we reached after one we met with the various stakeholders. So that is where we are as far as the amendment of the Constitution is.
We've heard people say that the PDP needs to rebrand in order to be accepted by the people, or else they may just have to break up so that maybe some others can then come in and rebuild the party. What do you think about that?
You know, each time so many people make so many proposals, the branding, there's nothing wrong. But what is also important is that when you talk about rebranding, are you bringing new people? Are they not seeing the same members of the party at the various levels? Take for example, you have at the world level, you have at the local government level, you have at the state level. Part of the what I have always said is that what has cost us our electoral loss in 2015, one is imposition of candidates. And whether you agree or not, it is a major factor. I like people to say that if I'm popular, I like the person to show his popularity.
So there will be no godfathers in the forthcoming convention?
I believe by the grace of God, like I've said, we have not gotten to a perfect level. I've always said so. And we must be realistic about it. We must be realistic about it. Okay, take for example, in this state today, you cannot say this is the godfather. So since I'm moving on well, you cannot say this is the godmother. Who you must go and take instruction from. As you wake up early morning, you go to your godfather.
Are you not a godfather to any politician?
I don't need to be a godfather to anybody. You don't need to. You see, these are the things why we lose our problems.
Is there a case of nomenclature? Maybe you can be a mentor and your
mentor is different from being godfather. You see, godfatherism has to do with I cannot even take a decision without my godfather approving. No. But there are those who have worked with me who are learning the process of politicking. That's different. There are young ones who have come to me, sir, who want to be politicians, who want to involve in political activities. Fine. Come and work with me. Come and be this, come and be this. In that case, you are learning the process. Well, so that has nothing to do with godfatherism.
So should they gain access into an office, then there's not going to be any pressure on them to service?
I was chairman of council, and I left as chairman of council in 2007. No chairman of my local government, even though I was instrumental, partly, not only me, where we have leaders, but you can say yes, because I became chief of staff and then as a minister. My principle has been, you have an opportunity to excel yourself. You have an opportunity to say, look, this is me. I may not be there tomorrow. And that is what has made people like us to be here today. As council chairman, we were able to excel that people would say, look, when he was council chairman of this local government, see what he did, see what he did. So that had moved him on. But when it depends solely on the fact that as you wake up one early morning, before you even take your breakfast, you have to go and see your godfather to say, look, I want to take my breakfast. Should I take my breakfast? And your godfather say, it's not time to take breakfast. And you go back. You have a problem. You don't have any thinking of your own. You don't have an idea. Now, if I say, I want to do so road, it is very good for me to do this road. It will link to it will reduce the hardship in that area. Then you say, no, let me go and ask my godfather. These are where problems come. There's nothing wrong in you having somebody that, look, I see him as my role model. There's nothing wrong. From time to time, you consult him. I mean, you cannot work alone. Sometimes informally, without knowing. I can be with my team without knowing. I have something in mind that I want to do. I just throw it open for discussion. They're not aware that I'm thinking about such a project, but just discussion. And then you'll be able to get one or two things, right? These are hard things. You have informally consulted them without them knowing. There could also be some kind of formal consultation where you call people. Look, see this, see this, see this. What is your thinking? Yes, my thinking is this. My thinking is not this. You aggregate them and then come up with a decision. So that's why I can today, as I wake up in the morning, I do my morning prayers, and then I say, these are things I want to do this morning. Yeah, so nothing like Godfatherism for us in this state. Everybody is important. I see all the leaders within my party from time to time, but I may not be able to see you every day because of course, the exigency of the office.
Let me bring in this other aspect, because you've been accused of sponsoring militants who are blowing up pipelines. Is that correct?
I read that online from APC in Rivers State. You know, I've always told people, when you don't have a job, they were given all the support by their party to make sure they win the election in Rivers. They didn't win. So all they do these days is to wake up one early morning. Now ask yourself one question. The governor of a state. If you sponsor the blowing of oil stations, who does it affect? How do I get the revenue? It doesn't make sense. How do I pay salaries when the money does not come? So there are things you sell to people and people will buy. There are things you cannot, nobody will, no right thinking person will buy it. How will any governor in the South today sponsor blowing up flow stations and the oil pipeline? How? If you do that, you won't get the revenue. The allocation will come. Already look at the fall in oil price before now. If not, it's just trying to come up a bit. But look at it. Has it not affected our allocation from the federation account? Now, if you now go sponsoring blowing oil pipeline and the flow stations, how do you sell the oil? Where do you for you to sell to even get the money? Are you not going to drive investors out of the place? When you have driven investors out of the place, is that the security you're causing for yourself? How do you govern?
But do you think the South governors have done, say, enough to discourage
the word enough may not come in, but whether they are doing things that would discourage, yes. Now, we had a meeting last time in Asaba, all the South governors. What we agreed was to meet Mr. President and discuss with him, sell our own ideas to him, that this was what we think that we should do. So let me not let the cat out of the bag. The governors, because I'm not the spokesperson, but just to say that yes, we have met, and we say, look, it's better we meet Mr. President, which is for the interest of Nigerians. It's not only for the interest of the South that this should not happen. That is pure criminality. In fact, I say this, that's an economic sabotage. I have always said, you may have your grievances, but there are ways to put across these grievances. As a governor of your state, I represent you. If there are things you think that the government is not doing well, there's nothing wrong in you putting it across to me, for me to be able to say, Mr. President, this is the thinking of my people. Whether Mr. President will accept it or not, but let it be first. We have presented that. And then Mr. President did not accept. So this whole issue of you are responsible is people of little minds in the, of course, APC in Rivers State has nothing again to say because they have been decimated. They claim they lied to the party that they will win the election. They are very strong, and everybody saw they are not on ground. So each day they wake up now. It is the Governor Wike that is doing that. They think that if they sell that to Mr. President, Mr. President will say, this governor is sabotaging the economy of the country. This governor is causing insecurity in the country. Before now it was Wike is responsible for killings of APC members. This day you are no longer hearing killings of APC members.
Your Excellency.
So I no governor, I say no governor. In fact, let me not even say no governor. Nobody right-thinking person in this zone will even think about, contemplate about it. Because at the end of the day, that is part of insecurity, which drives investors away. So why would we be, when we are talking about want investors to come in, the jobs are not there, and you drive them away, how do you create the jobs?